Welcome back. We're going to be talking about video and audio in this section, and a lot of people will have seen us on YouTube, and that's kind of where we have the majority of our views, really.
Yeah, so we have 115,000 subscribers at the moment, 60 million views, and hundreds of videos which we've created since we joined YouTube in 2007.
Yeah, I mean, the great thing with YouTube is it's actually like a search engine as well. I mean, people are searching for things on there all the time. Now, if you're not on there, they're not going to find you. So wherever you are, it doesn't matter, like a place like this, today when we were coming here, I decided to do a search and I couldn't find anything about the organ, which obviously that's going to change. But it was like this thing where if you just create a video about a place where you are, if someone searches for that specific organ, they will find you playing it. And I think that's the great thing. This is very much long-term on YouTube.
Yeah, so unlike your social media where you just post things and they're gone the next day and they have a very small shelf life, YouTube is a long-term thing, or video posts. They stay around for a long time and they're cumulative, which in one way is its own worst enemy, because your older videos are always going to have more views and come up as more popular, and what you want to show people is what you're doing now. So we're going to just talk about a few of the things that we actually do. We've created videos which have had only a few thousand views, and then some which have had millions and millions. And people say, well, how do I do this? How do I get the views? And how do I make them sort of so successful in some ways? But there is no magic thing, really, is there?
Well, when people are saying, well, how do I get views? Well, basically, make something which people want to watch. And I think we just need to bring this back to yourself as a performer, as a musician, and really, what are you trying to capture with a video or any of these kind of ways of portraying yourself? And basically, you need to capture a performance, and that's what you want to put across when people find you. I mean, you might embed a video, of course, on your website, and that is going to be kind of who you are as a performer.
Yeah, so our way of working is that wherever we go, we film performances and videos of the places we go to. So it's a circular thing. As you go to a place, you film a video, and as you filmed a video, people ask you to go to more places. And so this is how the whole sort of cycle of how our career has worked in a way. So we've come here today and we'll also film something. But wherever we go, last week we were in Singapore, next week we're going to Madrid, we'll always film something and put it out there. So when people look for these great instruments, they find them and a performance. But it can be in sort of different formats, really. It doesn't have to be a 5-minute piece. It can be a whole concert online, which we did recently.
Yeah, I mean, we've had some of the most views of an online organ concert than kind of in the world, basically. Hundreds of thousands of views on a long-form content, such as a full concert, and that's been absolutely fantastic, and people will actually watch online a full concert, and that's amazing. But having said that, there are a few things that we do to make sure that we keep the interest, which we're going to touch upon when we talk about how you should record organ videos.
Yeah, so the basic thing when you start is, what do people see first of all when they look down videos? They probably see the thumbnail, the actual image, and this is one of the great things where you have to really look at this, because it has to be honest, and you're, again, like your website, like your social media, it's a professional thing which is going to show what people are going to get.
Yeah, I think there's this idea that people are trying to get attention, and I think that's a real problem with the YouTube world, instead of creating interest, and I think that's what we're trying to do instead. Some of our most viewed videos are actually because we've put a thumbnail of like a really amazing organ case, because as an organist, that's what you have. You play these amazing instruments and they look so impressive, and then you find that people have started to put on a big picture of an organ case, and then they're not actually at that organ, they're actually in the front room on a digital instrument. And so I'm going to give you some advice on that. If you are an instrument that is impressive, stand in front of it, or make sure that they know that you're actually at that venue.
Yeah, so we did a couple of things. So one was at Manchester University with there on a G-string, and then one that did really well in a very short space of time was at MUPA in Budapest, and it just shows an amazing pipe organ, and people will think, is that even a real instrument?
It doesn't look real.
Yeah, and they click on it, see the video, and yes, it was a real instrument, and for that reason people come back to the video, they share it, they comment, they like it, and it just it sort of aids the audience, really. However, we see a lot of it now. People then copy what you do as well, and they'll show a big pipe organ of an amazing cathedral somewhere, but it might be a sample set. And if you're sat in your front room doing that, you're tricking people in a way. And don't feel you have to try and sort of get people in just to get views. The reason we do it is to share the instruments and to share our performances.
And I think that's a good point, because actually, if you have just got a digital pipe organ, not a pipe organ, a digital organ, I think you can still create amazing content with that, with interesting camera angles, and obviously capturing a great performance, because it is about you as a performer.
Yeah, well, this comes down to, again, to the whole premise of what we've been talking about today, with this, of your skills and experiences, but also creating opportunities and possibilities out of things that happen. So when you're at a great instrument, you can film it. However, if you're just at home, but you still want to create something, it's about your skills, really.
Yeah.
If you can play something amazingly well and impressive, it doesn't really matter what instrument it's on, it will still be impressive, and it's still very honest and truthful as well.
Yeah, I think that's really key.
Yeah, so create good quality content, I think, is the main key, really. Good quality, it will always sell. If it's out there, people can see it and they'll want to watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, how do we create good quality content, Jonathan? And what is good quality content? I mean,
you're the film person.
I suppose it's variety and interest within a film. If you're making a movie, you know, you've got to make sure it's interesting. What excites me is the fact that I'm trying to create the best YouTube organ video that I can every time.
Have you done it yet?
Well, I've done the best that I can do so far, but I'm still trying. I don't think that the best YouTube organ video has been created yet, and you might be the person who does that, you know. And I think that I think some of the ideas that I could kind of give you to do that are basically variety. And what's interesting about an instrument, I mean, there's so many wonderful kind of every single organ is different, and I think that's already key to variety in general. Everyone likes to see a new instrument, so that's why it's wonderful for us to go to so many instruments. But that's what maybe you should be doing, maybe going out and in your area, there might be, in your town or city, 5 organs you could find, and just showing everyone what they are. Now, how do you show them? Okay, don't just put up one camera and just say this is the organ. I think people are inquisitive, they're nosy, they want to know as much about the instrument as possible. And if you've only got a couple of cameras, I would go for 3 cameras, and they could be anything: DSLRs, action cameras. I use camcorders, you know, I think they're great. Set up a nice right shot, left shot, nice and close. Get a shot on the pedals as well. Run 2 takes, okay? Take the cameras, move them back, do a mid-range shot, you know, get that variety, get that long shot again. Try and keep the transparency of technology so that we're not really aware of seeing the other cameras. I mean, no one wants to see today's cameras that are filming us, you know, for example. But really, that is kind of keeping the magic, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Okay, and then finally, when we create a movie, we use the term like diegetic space, and this is kind of the space where the film is. And I think really, it's really good to get as far away as possible in a venue. So get some really long shots and just run it through again. Put it into your digital editing program and really just experiment, have a lot of fun, just kind of bringing together a real sense of kind of, you know, even a cinematic quality of, you know, all these interesting things. And the great thing, obviously, about, especially you as a performer, when I'm filming you, Jonathan, is the keyboards are just so visual. You know, and that's exciting in itself.
That's one of the things that people forget about organs. Nowadays, when you go to a concert hall or a church and watch an organist, sometimes you can't even see them play, or you're in a fixed seat. So when you're making a video, there's not much point making just one camera shot, because people can see that sort of view in real life. Remember the things that people are interested in and who you're putting this across to. You have really a responsibility as an organist for the future of the instrument in a way, because if you're sharing it, you want these instruments to be popular, you want them to be seen, and for people who may never have seen them or see them in real life, always remember that, as with concerts, you might only have an audience of 5 people at a real life concert, but somebody there, this may be the first or, depending what you do, the last organ concert they ever go to. The same with the video. Remember, they probably don't even know that you use your feet, maybe. Show that. If there's a difficult pedal solo, don't cut to a picture of the organ case. Make sure you show the interesting parts. This is the point of film. Just like a movie, draw the audience to what you want them to see of what's of interest and brings out the music as well.
Yeah, the music's so important, and obviously you'll want to capture the audio really well.
Yeah.
So I think, you don't need a huge kind of expensive microphone setup. I mean, just a couple of handheld pocket recorders will do the job. Put one close to the instrument, where it sounds good to your ears, and also put one a bit further back into the place you are if you need to pick up a little bit of reverberation, and just mix those two sounds together. You'll find that you can get wonderful quality audio just with with a very simple microphone setup, and it's also going to be very, very portable, and you can put that anywhere you want, really.
Yeah, some people, you'll get comments on your videos and people will tell you what they like and what they don't like about what you do. And with sound, people will like the acoustics of the church, and that can be an enemy as well in a way because it gets rid of clarity. And so between the microphone placements, you will learn over time. We're always learning.
Yeah.
You go to a new instrument and it's laid out in a completely different way every time. You see an organ case, there's pipes on the front of it. They may make absolutely no sound whatsoever. And how the layout is inside, with the pedal might be on one side, there might be a very loud tube around a corner. You have to use your ears and work it out. And only by sort of trial and error on this sort of video recording will you learn what sounds good.
I think that you're never going to stop developing, and I think if you can just bring in as many skills as possible to you as an organist and a performer, and don't be afraid of using the technology, and there's so many tutorials online. If you just do a quick search on YouTube, I mean, that's kind of how I learned most of what I know.
We were saying, how would you start again and how would you learn to do this?
Yeah, so it's a wonderful opportunity now. Now is the time that you can actually start from not knowing anything and learning so much in a very short amount of time and really enhance your career in terms of getting your organ playing out to as many people as possible.
But one of the main things that we would always say about everything we cover and everything we're talking about is quality. Quality is the one thing you want. Having 20 videos which aren't very good is never going to work. One really good video will do it for you and you'll get it out there. And again, it's what do you want people to see of you. Everything is, whether it's your posts on social media or your website or your photographs, everything. Your videos also are the quality and they show what your sort of professional standards are. We were saying before, whenever we go to an instrument, we always make sure the console is completely dusted and clean. It makes the place look like it's really well looked after, but it's also a reflection on what you wear, whether you wear a suit, a tie, and people, you'll see, as we've mentioned, you'll get comments on videos. So if you put a YouTube video on, people will comment. How you interact or whether you interact is entirely up to you. But we were saying before, when people comment, it's amazing what people will say, and people will give you negative criticism.
Yes.
But it's also a good thing because you know people in the world, you're not going to please everybody and everybody isn't going to like everything. But if you put it out there and do the best you can with your best, highest quality performance and production, you've got a chance of people wanting to watch it.
Yeah, don't be put off by kind of comments and things like that. That doesn't matter. And again, it's the same thing with not getting as many views. If you can get 100 views on a video, that's 100 people that have seen you. And then if you create another 10 videos, that's 1,000, people. It really is about building that community of people who are watching what you do and are interested in what you do. And like I keep saying this, enthusiasm creates interest.
Yeah, when we started doing this, we never even thought of views at all, did we?
Not at all.
This idea that people chase views, likes, it was sort of completely alien, and it still is, because if we'd have gone after views, we wouldn't have created half of the stuff we have done. I mean, for example, I played the harmonium, the French harmonium a lot, and put on harmonium videos. And now if someone said to you, I want to get views on YouTube, should I put a harmonium video on? No, it's probably not going to get any views. And
well, I probably wouldn't put 10 harmonium videos in a row. So I would kind of mix that up a bit,
As a result, though, it's part of what I've always done, and we perform
But
together.
don't be afraid of showing people what you do as a musician.
Exactly.
That's absolutely fine. It doesn't have to be. Don't restrict yourself too much.
Well, we'll be coming back to this because it is an idea that people can show you doing that. Because out there in the world, as I was saying, with this sort of playing the harmonium as well, I've been booked to do harmonium concerts for some very, very big events. because they know you do that, because they've seen your video and our duos of things like that. The same with the organ. And again, the repertoire is an important thing. If your repertoire is a very sort of contemporary sort of outlook and that's what you want to do, or you just play Baroque music, or make sure it's all out there for people to see. If you get pigeonholed in one subject, people will think you only do one thing. And it's what we were talking at the very beginning, that we do so many different things, how to make sure it comes across. And the thing with YouTube is you can put everything out there, but what people find is what they search for is the most important thing.
So make sure if someone searches for a specific thing, that they find you.
Yes. And the honesty is a very good thing as well, because in your video, make sure they know what they're going to get in real life. If they want to book you for an event, don't go for too many gimmicks maybe. If you always get good views because your dog is in the video while you play the organ, that's great. But maybe they might think you're going to turn up with your dog for the concert and you don't. They might be disappointed.
They'll be disappointed.
So yeah, if you go down a specific sort of very niche thing, just be careful of that. So again, choose how you want to do it, how you want to be seen and professionally, and that's how it will enhance your career.
Yeah.
So I hope that's given you some ideas and inspiration for maybe your own videos. And thanks for joining us today. And we'll look forward to seeing you for the next segment.
Yeah, which is going to be marketing and publicity.